2015 was declared the year of the period. Well, about time. As women, we became more vocal about the fact that we bleed for a few days every month and that there is absolutely no need for the shame and taboos around this very normal and important biological function. And rightly so. What is surprising, however, is that while menstruation got all the attention it deserved, the menstrual cycle somehow didn't. And to most people, that may sound like a bizarre statement, because we tend to use the two terms interchangeably, when we really shouldn't, because they aren't the same thing. The menstrual cycle is a 28-day event that occurs every 28 days for the most part of a woman's life, 28 days being the average number. It can very well range anywhere from 21 to 35 days. Menstruation, on the other hand, is just one of the stages of the menstrual cycle. You may know it as the period, and flow, that time of the month, menses, monthlies, or my least favorite term, the curse. And this part of your cycle can range anywhere from 3 to 7 days when you have a regular and normal cycle. So, as women, we are in a certain stage of the menstrual cycle every single day, like now. At this very moment, most women are in some part of their menstrual cycle. And this very simple piece of information reveals a very profound thing about women, that women are cyclical beings, not linear. So we need to do away with this mentality of having two phases of the month, the time when we bleed and the time we don't. I remember always thinking of my period as a speed bump, more like an annoyance I had to deal with for a few days every month. We need to appreciate each of the 4 phases and learn how to flow with them. And this applies to all women, regardless of whether they have PCOS or not. For women with PCOS, and I'll cover this in a future video, it is crucial to understand what should happen in the menstrual cycle to understand what is going wrong that is resulting in late, heavy, or absent periods. Yet, it is astounding how many women don't even know about the 4 phases of the menstrual cycle. Up until a few years ago, I certainly couldn't name them. Now, often many women feel that these are just technical biological details and we don't really need to know all of this. But I disagree. I think this is too important to not know. And there are immense benefits of getting in sync with our cycles and learning how to optimize our lives around them. Something we'll address in the coming weeks. Just in case you needed a refresher, here is a complete image of the female reproductive system. The first phase is called the Follicular Phase, which could last anywhere between 7 to 10 days. This varies from woman to woman and cycle to cycle. In this phase, the hypothalamus in the brain signals the pituitary gland via gonadotropin-releasing hormone to release FSH, follicle-stimulating hormone, to the ovaries. As a result, several egg follicles in the ovaries start to swell in preparation, and estrogen increases to thicken the uterine lining in readiness for the egg. Women often notice that their physical energy increases and is noticeable especially after the just concluded period, and can also sometimes feel restless. This is followed by ovulation, which could be approximately 3 to 4 days. In this phase, the pituitary gland causes a sharp increase in FSH and increases the level of luteinizing hormone, or LH. This is to stimulate one of the follicles to swell further and burst, releasing an egg into the fallopian or uterine tube, where the egg then travels to the uterus. Estrogen levels continue to increase and further thicken the lining of the uterus, whereas testosterone drops around ovulation. Women generally find that their energy levels are noticeably higher when they're ovulating. The luteal phase is usually the longest phase and lasts anywhere between 10 to 14 days. The follicle from which the egg burst changes into corpus luteum, which grows on the surface of the ovary, causing production of progesterone. This rise in progesterone signals the body to keep the uterine lining intact. A signal is sent to the pituitary gland to stop sending FSH and LH, ensuring only one egg is released into the uterus. Estrogen continues to rise in this phase, and if the egg isn't fertilized, the corpus luteum is reabsorbed in the body, and the production of progesterone halts, triggering your period. In the first part of the luteal phase, women will continue to have good energy levels. However, in the second half of it, you will notice a subtle drop in your energy, and this is where many women notice PMS symptoms. We'll talk more about PMS in future videos. The final phase is the menstrual phase. In this phase, the egg that didn't become an embryo disintegrates together with the uterine lining, hence causing a bleed. So the corpus luteum disappears, progesterone production drops off, which triggers shedding of the uterine lining. Estrogen peaks and then drops, stimulating your hypothalamus to prepare for another cycle of ovulation. Menstruation is therefore a way for your system to reset itself and cleanse. It is a natural time of rest in preparation for the next cycle. What it isn't is a punishment for being a woman, or something that makes you untouchable or unfit to run as president. Nor is it a reason to be shunned away from temples or not touch jars of pickle. Now, this is a more simplistic view of the ups and downs of the main hormones in the menstrual cycle. It looks something like this on a chart, and if you notice closely, it forms a cyclical pattern in continuous form. There are many wonderful apps that now help you track not just your ovulation or menstruation, but also the follicular and luteal phases. If you'd like, check out the apps iWoman or iPeriod. However, none of these are as accurate and as powerful as you noticing these subtle changes yourself. It may take you a few months to notice the differences in each of these phases, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes second nature. And ideally, if you asked yourself which phase of your menstrual cycle you were in, say now, you'd have a much more accurate response than that time of the month or not that time of the month. Or at least I hope you will. There is way more on this topic to cover in a short video, and I will be doing more to explain what happens in the menstrual cycle for women with PCOS in the coming weeks. If you found this helpful and would like to know more, please like this video and comment below to let me know what you would like me to cover. I post a PCOS related video every Thursday, well, almost every Thursday, so hit the subscribe button to never miss out on one of my videos. If you'd like to get a notification, click on the bell, and you can follow me on social media. My username is the PCOS Warrior across all my socials. You can find much more on my website, PCOSwarrior.com, so go check it out. Thanks for watching.